Shit, yeah, we rolling. My bad, y'all. Yeah, Wave Show. We're back. Episode 6.
Welcome back.
Got my guy with me, Big Gumbo.
Molly Mall.
Yeah.
Booker.
What? Pardon me?
Sorry. Sorry.
Goodness
Was I not supposed to
gracious.
say that?
No,
Why
not until
not?
next season. Let that man
You're right.
take the summer off, man.
I saw him. He's driving. You saw the classic cars he be driving.
Man, so the funniest part about that
Mhm.
is one day I went to a baseball game, I believe it was, and he showed up. And he showed up in one of his old schools,
Yo.
and it was tough. It was tough. I was,
Oh yeah.
and,
See,
and I
but
was,
you see, you know when you look up aura in the dictionary, you know who pop up? Devin Booker. I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you say nobody else because I know he's gonna say some bull. I'm not gonna say nope before you even thought about who he's gonna say. Sorry, I'll bring him up.
it's all right, man. You know my
Aura.
famous phrase, man. D Booker Cook. Yeah, he gonna get back
Yeah,
together, man.
we're
So
gonna put on a t-shirt.
yeah, that's definitely what we need. Just make sure I get my dividends. Because I ain't heard nobody else say it. But nah, man, this is the constantly chaotic show where we love to bring eccentric energy, ups and downs. We always value it, man. We have a little fun, a little, again, like I said, a little chaotic, some some wild questions, some questionable conversations. That's what
we
we get into on the Wave Show, man.
we got some good stuff today, bro. I'm I'm interested to get into some
The,
of this.
the craziest part is I may have done it on purpose. I did kind of preview you to some of the talking points,
Yep.
but I kind of left one out.
Oh,
Kind of want to catch you side swiper, you know what I'm saying? You cruising down the street, yo 6'4", like
whoa.
D Book. Ah, bung! Hard hit. So,
Well, first of all, if anybody ever did that to Devin Booker,
oh man,
hey,
yeah.
uh,
The whole west side of Phoenix is getting
no,
together.
they don't need no West Side. They need me. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. I'm yeah. You thought John Wick was upset over his dog? Let somebody touch Devin Booker. John Wick will be the least
Hey,
of that person's worries.
James Jones, just know if you ever trade D Book, you better move. You
John
better
Wick.
follow him.
John Wick.
But we actually do have some interesting conversations. It's been a little while. Again, episode 6. Let's jump into it though, man. Some crazy stuff's been going on. And one of those wild, crazy situations happens to be my Gemini brother, Mr. West. Yeah, Kanye.
Oh
He been
damn.
he been tripping.
Yeah, we ain't talk about this in the the pre-show meeting.
No. What they call it in baseball?
Curveball.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's more of a slider. I just got hit with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So, just the
Oh man.
obvious topic is my man. You see how I got this right here?
Yeah.
I'm supporting my team, my home team. My man, yeah, he got a new piece of memorabilia. And I don't know if it's supportive, is what I would call it.
Yeah,
It's a little,
I could definitely find a few other words to describe that
a
situation.
little questionable. I'm sure there's a couple people a little upset with it.
Oh
But he has a
man.
swastika piece, swastika for a piece. And so I will start the conversation by saying this: the swastika didn't always mean what it means to us now. It's part one.
Mhm.
Part two is I think that what he's doing is similar to. Now, I'm not saying he's right. I'm not.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to right or wrong. I'm just trying to put myself in his perspective and knowing the barrier pusher that he's been before. Think about the word nigga.
Right.
It ain't just black people that use it anymore, or people of color, or whatever you want to call us
Right.
today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like I don't know if you've ever heard the conversation with Dave Chappelle. Not to sidetrack, but when he was doing the Chappelle show, he had a conversation with the producer. They had an issue with some of the homophobic jokes he had.
Yep. I
And
have heard
then
that.
he said he was walking out of the room and kind of in a certain fashion asked them why they were so comfortable with him saying nigga,
Mhm.
but y'all have a problem with me saying I think it was I think it was the term that he used. He was like, how y'all so, and she was like, well, Dave, You're
We're gonna have to bleep some of that.
yeah. My apologies. I'm not trying to. I don't. I'm just trying to give context.
Hey, that's OG. That's OG. It's all right. We give him a pass.
Yeah, I've grown though. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, we used to call other people gay, meaning like a joke term. Now, if I had some kid to it, I'm like, hey, chill out. But
you gotta be that example.
Yeah. I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? Catch me on a good day. Catch me on a good day.
See, there you go, Shannon.
But no. Case in point is, I think Kanye's really trying to just cause conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we got white kids going to Kanye shows, Lil Durk show, whoever, and they saying the word nigga. Ain't no way they're rapping 90% of the lyric and not saying nigga.
Yeah.
Nobody ever gives they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They don't bring it up. They don't. My son went to see Durk yesterday and he came home saying the N-word. I ain't never heard. Sorry, I don't know why I put that accent. I don't know why I did that.
What was that?
My bad. Not. Yeah, I ain't saying nobody sounds like that. I would never say that.
Just not.
But
yeah, it's more.
But it's just a solid question of what do you feel like? What is he doing? Like what? And then is he actually being mean when you think about it in the grand scheme of things? Because I don't think the white kids really think they're being mean when they say
no. I don't think there's bad intentions So okay, first of all, I do want to. When you brought up Kanye, that is not what I thought we were. Maybe we'll talk about that later.
Maybe some more Kanye craziness.
Yeah, so maybe that's on the agenda.
His album is called World War III.
That
again, I think some of the points they all lead together. I don't think he's actually trying to hurt or harm people. He's really trying to highlight and bring attention to some of the things that we all do.
Right.
But there's only certain people that get targeted.
The thing about Kanye, and this might be a bad thing, it might be a good thing. He is searching. I believe he's searching for attention.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like his betrayal list, that he posted, him showing up in a hooded outfit,
a black KKK fit, essentially, a black version of the KKK fit.
He's looking for attention. Now he may be looking for attention to bring up a conversation, like you mentioned. To your point, hey, I want to talk about this because what's happening is not okay. Maybe that's what he believes. I just think there are different ways to go about it. You don't have to show up in such hooded outfit to an interview of whoever you're doing an interview with to make a statement. Kanye West has a big enough platform, and he has had a big enough platform for years and years and years to be able to make a statement. Doing things like that, I don't believe are the right way about going about it. That's the biggest thing to me, because you look at that now. I've never been even his music. Like Kanye's cool, right? I've listened to Kanye. I was never like, oh, Kanye is my favorite rapper. Like, you know how I'm about, Lil Wayne and the Baby. Those are my guys. I listen to everything they drop. I've never been that way. I know the popular song, Power, and things like see, I'm even forgetting the album name. What's his number one album?
College Dropout?
No, not College Dropout. Graduation.
Oh, Graduation.
Everybody's he did this, but he dropped Graduation, so give him a pass. Now I know that's a joke, but so I've never really. All I know Kanye as, for the most part, is
Crash Out.
Exactly, by definition. And I think there's a better way to go about these things. For instance, now Kanye West is not an athlete, but I'm sure he can find a way to make an impact like Colin Kaepernick had. Colin Kaepernick wasn't going out and calling all these people's names and going on social media and just saying all this crazy stuff. All he did was he saw an opportunity to make a stand. Police brutality was going on. It was getting excessive. It was happening too often. Colin Kaepernick saw it, and he said, I'm going to do something about this. He didn't show up in a hooded outfit. He didn't have his wife wear some. I don't know what that woman was wearing. I don't even know her name, but
Close to nothing.
pretty much. Like he's
But
not. Like,
again, personally, I feel like if you look at it, it's a pattern. They're all loud, obnoxious.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? They're so I guess in between your point, I would ask, do you think that there's a point within that? When you think about war to a point,
Yeah.
you can't war doesn't happen peacefully.
No.
You think about
No such thing.
civil rights.
Mhm.
Without the way it happened, does it happen? Like black people really had to cause an uproar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be treated equally.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. They had to do something. Yeah.
But does it happen if they continue to peacefully protest? And I'm not trying to okay or dismiss some of the ignorance.
Mhm.
But if you read, you read the history, peace doesn't change a lot.
Yeah.
You have to disrupt. If you come to class every day and little JoJo's in the back drawn and doing or making noise, and the teacher kind of ignores it, and you're like, hey, I'm trying to learn. And nothing happens until you go over her head or you smack little homie.
Yeah.
You have to ruffle feathers. And I'm not trying to excuse. I'm just asking, do you think that he recognizes the pattern and goes, oh, well, one, I'm a braggadocious rapper.
Right.
Two, excuse me, but I'm a Gemini. Geminis tend to have eccentric ways of thinking.
Yeah.
Look at Allen Iverson. You look at Tupac. There's a list of Geminis that people go, oh yeah, we know what type of time he on. He might get a little loud at the party. Don't give him too much to drink. I'm a Gemini. I can read him, and I feel like he's just one who is observed and goes, yeah, I gotta flip the table over, or no one's gonna pay attention. It's just bad that he's also flipped the table over when Taylor Swift won an award.
So okay, to your point, a lot of things haven't been changed peacefully, right? When things like you said, Lil JoJo's in the back laughing and kikiing, nobody's really giving her too much attention. But if she's jumping up on the table and yelling and doing all, then things start to happen. My problem is, to your point, if the table has to be flipped, right? Flip the table. Don't flip the table onto Lil JoJo. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Don't, and that's what I believe. Just make sure nobody's under the table when you're flipping it.
He tears people down to almost uplift when there's none. I get what you're saying.
Exactly. There's a better way. And again, too, like back to Colin Kaepernick. Like I have so much respect for Colin Kaepernick. I have a ridiculous amount of respect for Colin Kaepernick for what he did, because he was a top quarterback in the NFL. He took his team to a Super Bowl and almost won. And he has not had a job since. He has not had a job in the NFL since.
And he doesn't really glorify what he does either.
Never.
Like, still to this day, if you go on his Instagram page, you go on, social media feeds, he's still doing stuff behind the door, behind closed doors, just behind the scenes. He's still doing work for the community.
Exactly, because he doesn't do it for other people to see it. He doesn't do it for credit or recognition.
But I think part of the dysfunction in the Kanye movement is the individual. Kanye, I do think, does have demons or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
He has he has a battle he hasn't yet conquered.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And it's hard for him to even choose the battle of the day at times. But I think he means well to a certain extent. For someone to be that intelligent and lack certain levels of communication is where I get lost sometimes. Because I do think you should help. Again, he's a leader of men. When you have that type of platform, you're the leader of men.
Oh yeah.
And I personally don't believe the earth is flat, but if I had that type of platform, I would want to be clear before I just screamed it.
Yeah.
because there's going to be people who believe me. And there could be a 5-year-old kid who's going to go to school and now he's going to tell his teacher that the earth is flat and he's going to disrupt the classroom because Kanye said the earth is flat.
That's the type of impact I don't think Kanye realizes he has. Like 5-year-old kids are gonna go to school and see a picture of the earth. That you have your science video, you have your Bill Nyes, you have your National Geographic videos that are gonna show the earth in a circle. Hey, Miss Johnson, Kanye West told me the earth is flat. And that might even be another situation to a lot of the kids. And we kind of talked about, we just came from your son's baseball game and we're kind of talking about it. A lot of kids, too many kids are growing up too fast.
Oh yeah.
Let them be children.
But the information is getting to them quicker than it was to us. It's more accessible. We didn't. We had the conversation earlier. Think about the cell phones that we had in high school versus the cell phones that these kids have in kindergarten.
That's even a better question. Why do children have cell phones in kindergarten?
Well, I think society is changing. I mean, when I was 9 years old, I went outside and all of the other parents within the community knew who I was. I was going to some of their houses comfortably and I would call my mother's house. She didn't even have a cell phone. Sometimes I just leave a message and say, Ma, if you get home and I'm not there, I'm at, Al's house. Like, that's just how it was. Nowadays, and it's difficult for me to understand. Is it because we have so much communication? Like me, I'm a person, honestly, I hate that I have to pick up my phone when you call me. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm one of them old school people who's like, yeah, leave the voicemail. I want to know if it's important enough because I don't want you to disrupt what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could be helping my son with homework. I could just be focusing on something. And if I pick up this call, it's going to disrupt me for the next half an hour. So I'm a person of text me. Let me know what we need to talk about and I'll call you when I'm free.
Yeah.
But we've changed that to where there's so much comfort in if I call or text, that person is expected to pick up the call. Whereas when I'm my day and age, I had a house phone. There was no
the expectation of you picking up wasn't there. If he picks up, hey, he picks up. If he doesn't, he'll call me back later.
And so society has changed in that manner to where I would be hanging outside and it would almost take an hour for my mother to be like, oh, I got to go find him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus now, if your kid's outside and you call them and they don't pick up, now you walk into Joey, you know what I'm saying?
Block,
and it's just different. And I don't know how the steps got to where we are right now, but society has changed and there's a different dynamic. I mean, I don't know all of my neighbors. Now I don't.
Oh, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm the same way.
But when I was 9, I knew all of the neighbors. You understand? Like it's just I don't.
Obviously, it's different generations, but I'm with you. Like when I was 9, 10. Hey, Miss Patricia, can Alex come outside? Hey Jamal, how you doing? It's not like that anymore.
The people at the corner store knew who I was.
Yep.
My father used to send me. It's so different, and that's why, like, I don't know if it's better or worse. My father would send me to the store for cigarettes. I'm 13 years old. I would get the cigarettes and come back home. The Ray at the corner store knew that I wasn't going to smoke cigarettes. He knew I was going to get them for my pops. I always go to the liquor store. I would go 15 going to the liquor store to get my father a case of Heinekens.
Yeah,
they knew who I was. They didn't there was no interruption from me walking there, getting it, and going home. Everyone knew what was happening.
Yep.
I don't know what has changed and transpired. You would think that it would be easier communication. This motherfucker has a cell phone the same way my dad got a cell phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what happened, but I do. I mean, you look at kidnappings, you look at all of these other things that are happening in society, and I feel like a lot of parents are less comfortable.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if that's the case, and I understand work and life, but like there has to be a point in which, like, I mean, you pick your son up for school every day. So he doesn't need to have a cell phone because you know where he's at all points in times. Okay, if he's not at school, he's with you. If he's not with you, he's with his mom. If whatever the case may be, or if he's not, with her, then he's with your mom or whoever. So you always know where he's at. There, I think that's on the parents to have more initiative right? If okay, you know what? I got off work early today, but I'm really tired, and Joey, he'll just take the bus home. Like it's the initiative, and I always say my dad has always told me, he always tells me, all it takes is a little bit of effort,
Hmm.
a little bit
But
of effort.
to what you're speaking to, like let's say it's not my son's only he'll be 6 in a couple days. It's
Mhm.
not 6. Let's say 10. Let's say
Right?
even 10. 10-year-olds shouldn't have access to the same amount of information that we do.
No.
But when you think about a 10-year-old, they are allowed to walk home from school.
Hmm.
They are gonna typically have a cell phone. But again, they still have access to information they shouldn't have, and that's just
100%.
society. You know what I'm saying? The other part of that is when we were kids, I mean, more you, maybe more me than you. I'm part of the video game rush.
Yeah.
Parents were looking, kids would go outside and play. And then when they came in the house, they making all this damn noise, and the parents is trying to chill, settle down because they got to go to work tomorrow. When video games came out, it was almost like a blessing for parents.
Yeah.
Yo, y'all go upstairs and do what go play the game, go play the game, get out of my hair.
Yeah.
But that became an addiction and a habit. Now all of that's what kids do. They don't even play
Yeah.
outside no more. They
Play the game.
play the game.
That's what they make their friends on the
So
game.
you think about the game, then you think about the tablet. So it's
Yeah.
like it's all the same thing. And again, now that's all, you know what I'm saying? Like kids went from play. I remember like there was limits. You could play the game for an hour a day.
Yeah. What? No game on the weekdays, and
Yeah.
even on the weekends, you got 2 hours a day.
My nephew, when I go to home for
Mhm.
vacation, my nephew's up to I'm literally like 3 in the morning because the 3 hour difference.
Oh
It's 3 in the morning
yeah.
there. It's 12 o'clock for me.
Mhm.
He be up like it's 11 in the afternoon. And
Nah.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's just how we're programmed now a little bit differently. And I feel like it does take a little bit more work because society has enabled us such a high level of comfortability that you forget that life is actually work.
Yeah.
And like, part of parenting is constantly engaging with your kids, not letting somebody else, the tablet, teach them. You gotta, go out there and have fun,
It's a
play with
must.
them. Yeah. But yeah, I just think that that's part of, we kind of did one of those, but that influence that Kanye has, that is that unfortunate and unfortunate. Because I do think that part of it is helping some kids. You don't want them to mature too quickly, but you also want them to have a general understanding of the life that they're going to be headed towards.
Right.
And the more society grows, like I spoke earlier, everything is becoming younger.
Hmm.
Sports, politics, like everything. We have some of the youngest head coaches in the NBA that we've ever had
And a lot of them are looking for the younger head coaches now. Like the Suns are looking for a younger head coach.
because those
Like
players can identify with the younger coach.
exactly.
And so I'm not completely against what's happening because I think it's almost like what do they call it? Just adaptation. We're adapting to
Yeah. Evolution.
we're
Hmm.
just evolving. And so part of that is unconsciously kids are going to have to be more technical.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And but I completely agree that Ye and other people need to mind that they're teaching others every day
Yeah.
because they have the biggest platform.
Like you just have to be so careful of like a lot of the times you got to think before you say. You know what I'm saying? Like think of what you were like. I was gonna say that. Don't know if I want to say that, especially because who's around you. Now, a lot of the times I like to say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Other times it's definitely what you say. Like if you know what I'm saying? Like I don't give a damn how Kanye read that in his mind. It's what he said.
Might want to scratch that note off the list.
Yeah.
You know what is crazy to me is I think about the effort he put forth to go get the sex tapes from whoever had them
Mhm.
about Kim K. He wanted to take
Oh
that
man.
off, like basically off of the web.
Yeah.
I'd assume because he loved her,
Mhm.
but also for his children. He's like, I can imagine
Yeah.
how that would affect them. For you to have the wherewithal to think about your own kids, but you don't think about
Nobody else. And that's what he doesn't realize. It comes with the job, right? Kanye, at some point in his life, was saying, "I want to be a famous rapper that makes a lot of money." He has now become that. There's a lot that comes with that. It's not just jotting down on a piece of paper what you want to rap about next time you're in the studio. It's okay. Now have a platform. Okay, which means I now have a responsibility because there are people of all ages, all races, both sexes that are going to be looking at what I say and holding that with a very holding that close to them.
You're just gonna leave out the aliens?
See, there you go. See, I see that. See, there
I'm
you
just
go.
saying
See,
they told us that they're here.
I try to skip past it. I try to skip past it. See,
oh,
there
you
go.
can't leave them. I'm
nasty.
never gonna leave them out, dog. I'm telling you, I can't wait to meet them. Hey, people scared. I'm trying to meet them. I personally feel like aliens are us coming back from the future. I wouldn't mind meeting my great grandkids or whoever, however it works.
See, here's the thing that if they exist, they exist. If they don't, they don't. I'm not gonna go searching for them.
They definitely exist. Like the government. I shouldn't say that because that could move on to our next subject. Yeah, let's jump right into it.
Yeah,
conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I think we just end up by Kanye's a maniac.
Damn, I didn't want to go that low.
No,
I do think he's got some manic behaviors. I'll say that.
Well, I also will say you go low, I go to the basement.
To the ground. That's another part of this next conversation. I did kind of give you a preview of the video.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start this off with a simple joke that I dropped that one on you too. Pause. I don't know why, but I had to pause that because it sounded crazy. But there's a guy who was talking about how the government takes care of people.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, that's what their job is. They are here to nurture, take care, make sure we got food, make sure we got the proper medicine, et cetera, et cetera. That's what they're here to do. Well, people like myself and others, we're parents. We're here to provide a lot of those same things for our children. And what he was saying was, for people to not believe in conspiracy theories is kind of crazy, because when the government is in constant control over everything to take care of those people, when he does it for his kid, and he's like, well, a lot of my kids often,
right?
It's part of taking care of them. I can't release all the information to my kids because then they'll panic. And so, in a sense, you would think that's what the government and whatever higher powers to be do to us, right?
And it's crazy. It's crazy, that you bring that up. And maybe we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. But Paradise, our show, that does not, that sentence you just said, does that not fit that show perfectly?
It does.
You know what I'm saying? Because
that show.
That's, first of all, Paradise on Hulu.
Perfect timing for that show to drop, I swear.
Man, that is a fantastic show.
Great actors, great actresses. It's a good show.
That dude, what's his name? Why Sterling K. Brown?
I'm horrible with names. Sometimes I forget my own.
Can you? Hold on. I do also want to point out. Can you believe a Celtics fan forgot Avery Bradley?
Listen,
I do want to point that out.
This is a difficult conversation, man. He asked me when the last starting five to win a playoff game. We're at my son's baseball game. I'm a little thrown off. I'm watching things over here and watching things over there. There's kids running around, kids just playing in the dirt while the baseball.
Hey, listen, they ain't got nothing to do with me. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying?
That. And I knew it was AB. I just couldn't remember his name. But I'm bad with names. I remember his number. I knew exactly who you were talking about. But yeah, I did forget.
But to that point, to where sometimes you got to lie to people. So, or to the example, sometimes you got to lie to your children so that they don't panic. To that video, I forgot the Instagram channel.
Ninja and butterflies.
No, ninjas are butterflies.
Ninjas are butterflies.
Ninjas are butterflies.
Conspiracy theory type of podcast, but yeah, it's fun. A good one. It's a good one.
Here's the way. Now, this may be me being naive or ignorant to the situation, but I mentioned to you before. We were talking before the show. I'm not. It's not that I believe or don't believe in conspiracy theories. I just don't necessarily care about conspiracy theories.
And I think that's dope, because when we kind of had the brief talk earlier, I highlighted I'm pretty much the same about politics.
Yep.
I really don't care
Mm-hmm.
until it affects me.
Yeah.
And that's where I think some of these conspiracy theories are going to start popping up. Is they're part of our history, but sometimes history can repeat itself. And then the other part is people kind of just scour the earth. I want to check out this territory. I want to check out this land. I want to see. I want to smell. But at this day and age, we have technology. So now
Mm-hmm.
you can share it, and people on the whole other side of the earth can shoot. They even have language barrier apps to where they can
you
plug in,
just,
you can plug it in, and now I
yep.
know exactly what you said. Like there's so
Yeah.
many things to help us communicate. And I think before, to where someone went to some place, it would take years before you had access to that information to know,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's where the gold is at, that's where the good water.
Yeah.
Now it's instantaneous. If there's a hurricane, we know about it now.
Immediately.
And so with this one, they were talking about a kind of hole that goes to the core of the earth in the North Pole. Now, for those that don't know, there's actually a part of the North Pole, Antarctica, that is kind of cut off
Mm-hmm.
for the public. You can't fly over it. You're not supposed to have access.
Right.
Well, they believe that there was a scientist that went there way, 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 way back in the day. He spoke to human-like forms.
Mm-hmm.
He's seen things that we don't really see above ground, and they actually have what do they call them when the NASA space shuttles actually
Satellites.
take satellite
Mm-hmm.
photography. They have photographs of this area, and it happens to look like what he described. It's almost like a hole in
In the
the
earth.
earth.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, is it even a conspiracy at this point, or is it
Yeah.
just them hiding information from us?
Okay, so I got two questions for you. Okay, I got two questions for you regarding that. Again, even you, and especially obviously the people watching, call me ignorant if it is. Call me ignorant. Call me naive if it is. But and I'm always going to bring everything back to sports. I'm a baseball player, right? Guys who get 3 hits out of 10 times make the Hall of Fame. One thing I learned at a very early age is I'm going to say this very loosely, but forget about the past, right? So my first question is, right, and again, I understand history. I'm grateful for that. I learned history, right? About slavery and the Civil War and the World War I and II. I learned about everything like that. What can you do about the past?
Besides learn from it, not much. Yeah, I feel like that's the key to it is you learn from it so you don't repeat it in the present and in the future. That's
Exactly.
the number. Yeah, it's number one thing.
My second question is history, right? You learn a bunch of stuff in school from whatever may be in the textbooks, from whatever the teacher may tell you, whatever is true, whatever it may be. What stops you from thinking, okay, well, we talked about the earth being flat. We obviously both don't believe the earth is flat, but earth being flat, right? If I come up to you at Tone, earth is flat. Don't listen to nobody else. The earth is flat. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. What stops you from thinking that or believing that, but also believing this person saying, and now I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it's not true at all. But what also stops you from thinking that there is something on the North Pole and whatever this, I forget the name that they were talking about, but this gentleman that saw the other side of the North Pole, there's a big hole in the earth, and there is, life of human-like forms on that side of the earth that you're not allowed to fly over, things like that. What stopped? There's all these different conspiracy theories.
How do you pick and choose? How do you
How do you
differentiate? Yeah,
exactly? How do you pick and choose which ones you're going to believe and what? Thank you for that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. How do you pick and choose what you're going to believe and what you're not going to believe, and how do you know what's true and not? Because
that's a great question. I honestly, I don't even think I have an understandable answer. I like the thing I would point to is really feelings. Like I hate to veer, but I remember as a kid having conversations about weed. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? I never no not at any point and I knew that I would have went to prison had I been caught, in jail, whatever the case may be. But there was never a point where I felt as though weed was as bad as society
Right.
portrayed.
Hmm.
I never was like, yo, like people ain't dying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we talking about weed the way?
Like it's gonna kill you. Like
Yeah, like
it's
heroin, crack, coke. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Drug. You can go to the pharmacy and get something that's gonna kill you tonight.
Yep.
You could smoke a whole pound of weed.
Won't
That
kill you.
ain't gonna kill you.
No.
You might be paranoid like a motherfucker, but it ain't gonna die. But I remember the feeling of hearing older folks having conversations about weed, and no matter what they said, it never changed how I felt about it.
Right.
I was like, whether I was smoking or I wasn't smoking, I was like, why are y'all making such a big deal about weed?
Hmm.
And so I don't know how that happens because it wasn't like, again, people were rarely going to jail. You go to down south, you go to parts of down south, there's people still in prison for weed right now to this
Yep.
day in
Which is
America.
absolutely just ridiculous.
And so it's not like there wasn't actual truth behind the mature, the adults feeling like, yo, you probably should stay away from the weed because it can affect your life. It really could.
Right.
In ways that it shouldn't, unfortunately. Like no
Yeah.
one should be in prison for weed right now.
No. That's a joke. I mean, it's and you know this. I've never smoked or I don't smoke weed or anything like that. So I can't speak from that
You
that
have an outside
specific.
perspective.
Yeah. So it's outside looking in. But but everybody, like almost everybody I know, like enjoys to smoke weed, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't understand why people think, oh, it's just it's for a term that people used, the devil's lettuce.
Yep.
Why is it the devil's lettuce?
Because society, there's a lot of black people that were honestly using it back in the days, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and black people were deemed bad.
It's just
They said we would use it and we would have fun at parties, dancing the devil music. That's really what it was.
black people don't need weed to
Enjoy ourselves.
yeah, like
And
that's a joke.
honestly, alcohol does way more damage.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Alcohol will kill you.
Yeah, it definitely can kill you. You drink too much, you consume too much. And sorry, but I, I I've seen good people make horrible decisions on alcohol.
Yeah.
On
Oh,
weed,
for sure.
they just take a nap. Might eat a little too much. They don't want to fight.
Oh
They
no.
do not want to fight off weed.
But even the thing about that is like if the people who are affected by weed let the weed affect them.
Mm-hmm.
That is not again from the outside looking in. That is not the weed that affects because I've seen people that weed affects, and I've also seen people that weed doesn't affect.
Mm-hmm.
Like that just didn't make any sense to me, and so
I'm trying to put it in perspective to back to the convo. I don't know how, and because it's hard, especially when it comes to flat Earth. Like I've never been to space. The high, I don't know how many feet that is in the air, 15, 20 something thousand feet in the air when on a plane. You can't see the entire Earth to see if there's a curvature. You can't, and so I guess generally we're going off of somebody else's perspective, anyways. I will say that what we personally, this is just me personally, I don't think the Earth is flat. I also don't think that the Earth is a perfect sphere.
Okay.
One, scientifically, like listening to scientists, they say it's impossible for it to be a perfect sphere. It's just impossible. Which I think those conversations open the door for conspiracy theories, honestly, or misjudgment. Because if it's not clear cut, it's almost like math. I tell you 1 + 1 is 2. I tell you 2 + 2 is 4. And then someone says, well, 3 + 3 is 7. Like, what? How?
that literally doesn't add up.
And now
Yeah.
I'm confused. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so, like, I don't have, again, every time they show us a picture of the earth, they show you that Africa is smaller than North America.
Right.
When I don't forget the name, the white lady's name, but she was a teacher back in the 70s and 80s who actually shows you a real map of this actual sizes of the countries.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, again, this is misleading. And now the conspiracy theory door has to get open a little bit more, because
The door
why
is
are
then
you
kicked open by
why
Brock
are you
Lesnar.
selling me this globe? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? It's not a perfect sphere, and the countries aren't even this size. So
Right.
what are you trying to do to me to where now I have to question the powers that be?
Yeah.
You're my educator. I've never seen a ball more often than the globe.
Right.
Pause. Let me just say pause because it sounded crazy. But I've never, like, basketball, baseball. You see the globe. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in school, that's what I see every classroom I go into. They got a globe on the wall. I'm in a freaking French class and they got a globe on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, so what are you trying to do here? And
Right.
so that's where it gets tough for me versus, I don't know if it's government powers that be who provide this, the
The
globe and the
thought,
map.
yeah. I like the idea.
Yeah,
Of
versus someone who traveled to this location and then provided this, this detailed notes of what they actually seen. And then it gets a little difficult because it goes from, I went there and I give it to you, and then you give it to so and so, and you give it to so and so, and then the information is provided for the news. Well, we just made telephone.
Yep.
And I said A and you said C and he said F. And but it gets tough for me in trying to figure out who to trust, honestly.
And honestly, to that point, I'll probably and this is probably, I don't know. I don't know if I have much more on this, but conspiracy theories are, damn, I don't, I'm having a brain fart. The number one thing I'm gonna say is conspiracy theories are theories, but don't let somebody persuade you just because of what they feel. And I thought about what I was gonna say too. So Kyrie Irving, right? We're just talking about it. Kyrie Irving believes the earth is flat. If you are, I'm 22. So if I'm a 22-year-old grown man, right? If I'm listening to Kyrie Irving, see, and he says the earth is flat. I then say, oh, well, the earth is flat because Kyrie Irving said so. That's ignorance. Okay. Oh, well, Kyrie, that's interesting. I've never heard that before. I'm going to go do research. You mentioned scientists, the people who get paid to research things like this. I'm going to go look for that information. I'm going to go look for a reliable source. Hey, okay.
Well, the people we think are reliable.
Exactly.
And that's where the issue comes.
Oh boy, that's another door that that Godzilla's coming in and running through. The biggest thing to me, and maybe this is straying a little off topic, but conspiracy theories, like you mentioned, are about feelings. Which theories do you feel are correct? Which theories do you feel are the right ones to you? My biggest issue with people who are big on conspiracy theories are the people who try and push those theories
on everyone else.
Hey, I believe this, so you believe this. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe this, you should believe this. And again, maybe this is, hopefully this isn't too crazy to say. Religion is the same thing. I was just having a conversation with a couple friends yesterday, right? Tone, I am a Catholic man, and I'm proud to be a Catholic man. I'm not going to go and tell you or anybody else to be Catholic because I'm Catholic. You have nothing to do with who I believe in or what I believe in. That is the dumbest thing that people do, and it infuriates me. It infuriates me. Tone, that's you. You have a Celtics chain on, a Celtics hat. That's like me coming up to you and telling you, "Hey, Tone, you should be a Suns fan." Well, I root for the Celtics. No. That's wrong. That's wrong. You are going to root for the Suns because I root for the Suns because I believe that's the right thing to do. That's dumb. That's ignorant. That's stupid. It infuriates. Now you can see I'm kind of getting heated over it because I'm big on minding my own business. Right? I mind my own business. I don't go tell people what to do. If I'm having a conversation, yeah, I'll tell you what I feel. Right? If we're telling stories, hey, I'll tell you what. Maybe I'll tell you a story that relates to the story that you just told. I'm not gonna go out and tell you to do something just because I do it. That is dumb. And a lot of people do it. A lot of I'm not gonna just single out a religion. Every religion do it. Christians do it. Catholics do it. Jewish people do it. Muslims do it. I don't understand why they do it. You support who you support. You believe in who you believe in because that's what you believe in. Don't push that onto other people. If you believe the earth is flat, that is absolutely okay. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Don't try to make me believe the earth is flat because I don't believe the earth is
I
flat.
can only guess the strength in numbers, but I don't know.
See,
I'm just saying, I don't know, like
See,
why people. I'm hearing you, and I'm like, yeah, why would people do that? Especially because it opens the door, like if you're having just an open conversation is different, but like you're saying, if I'm trying to aggressively push how I believe onto you,
yeah.
it causes a defense mechanism.
Mhm.
And so now you're opening the door for me to almost treat you rude because you're pushing something
Because I'm
on me that
pushing it
I
on you.
don't like or I'm uncomfortable with. So I might be rude, and now you're going to be upset that I.
Like it's so infuriating. Like I've sat next to people, right? I've sat next to people. Now I'm getting specific. I've seen Christians and I've seen Catholics do it to atheists, people who don't believe in anything. Oh, hey Johnny, why don't you believe in God? Well, wow.
And then they're pissed off at the end of the conversation.
Oh, well, you don't believe in God. Why does it matter? Let Johnny believe in what he wants to believe in, or maybe he doesn't believe in anything at all. Why does that have anything to do with you?
The crazy thing is, you know when they really gonna be messed up is when they get, if they make it, let's say to what most of them believe, heaven and hell.
Yep.
What if there's only 30,000 seats up there?
Boy,
You inviting people that don't belong, and they might take your seat.
paradise. Hey, we keep mentioning it. Go watch that show, bro. Go watch that show.
It's a great show. I will say that I love all your points, and I think it's dope. I think a lot of what we disregard is we mainly have that comfortability because we live in America. You go to other countries, you don't have that type of flexibility.
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely not. You are forced into one
dictatorship.
What?
Yeah. Everyone follows this, and
you have no freedom.
Yeah. But goes into another conversation of mine. Do you think, thinking about where we're at currently,
Mhm.
and if you're at all in tune with some of the politics that's going on, do you think that we are in the best position the way we are, or should we be living a dictatorship? Do we have too much freedom? Is essentially where I'm going.
To an extent. I believe in a democracy. There's, we again something else we were talking about. Tony, you and I talk damn near every day, so we always talk about a bunch of different things. But something else we were talking about was, there's 340 million people that live in America. 340 million people. Especially with that many people, there's no way you can have a dictatorship.
Well, how many people are in China?
That's a good question. I think China and India might have more people than America do.
Yeah. Dictatorship.
I just that's I might stand corrected, but I think, but America is just
hard to change. What they say, hard to change a player's game in the ninth inning.
What? Hey, when you have Mariano
for the fences,
when you have Mariano Rivera coming into that ninth inning, hey, and again, if Tone, I don't know if you know Mariano Rivera. Mariano, it was a he's like closer. You have Mariano for the Yankees. One of the Mariano Rivera comes in the ninth inning.
Game over.
Go home. Mm-hmm. I'm going now, unless you play the D-backs, who 2001 Mariano Rivera never want to see the D-backs again. Game 7 in the ninth inning, Gonzo. Hey, but like there has to be, with the amount of influence that China doesn't have, like, the people who live in China don't have the influence.
It's weird to me how much we influence the world.
It's ridiculous.
Yet we don't sell anything.
No.
We don't have. That's crazy because I don't want to say that we don't have our own culture. We do have. We have an American culture.
Like other countries learn English because we speak English.
Yeah, exactly. But we don't learn other people's languages.
Absolutely, and we don't even attempt
We don't
to.
care. Yeah, we don't. Like, so my mother just went to Portugal with some of her friends.
Right.
The person who was like their tourist, the person who was showing them around, tour guide. My man knew 4 different languages.
How cool is that?
He was your age.
That's okay. That's insane. Hold on. Are you sending me a message?
No.
That sounded a little
slightly because I do think I also like I tend to send my mother often things of what, and often they're China and India. It's crazy what their kids are doing in middle school and versus what we do, and I'm like, I've been it's foul. Excuse me, because it sounds like appreciate it. It sounds like I don't love my country. I love my country. I do appreciate the freedoms that we have. But to a certain extent, I do think that the freedoms have enabled us to become too comfortable. And when you look at some of the other countries, their kids are working harder than adults in our country. Yep. And it's just how they operate. They don't know anything different. They're building the video games that we play
and make money with.
And so, like, when I see the young Chinese kid in school doing balancing, jumping from like these stool things to gain balance, that's not just for his balance. Mm-hmm. That's for confidence. That's for structure in life. Because if I can do this, who knows what else I can do?
Potential.
And just thinking about how they're progressing and constantly progressing and challenging themselves, and we are doing the complete opposite. I'm wondering what the future holds for America. And again, right before, so if you are my friend, family, and you've seen my Facebook page, today I posted something that said, if you think niggas was dying before over sneakers, wait till y'all see the prices on them new tariff Nikes. And some people laughed, some people cried, but it's the truth. And it's not just Nikes. It will be your iPhone. It will be your laptop. It will be a lot of vehicles. These are companies that we don't make the cars or the iPhone in America. Yep. And if moving forward with the tariffs, if what Donald Trump is trying to do, which would be make products like this in America, what we spend $125 to buy would then cost you about $500-$600, which means nigga like me ain't gonna have it.
What? Yeah, I'll make my own headphones, bro.
They said them shits ain't even good for you anyways. And so, like, they say you're supposed to be wearing the wired ones. But again, to me, I'm really wondering again, and it's, I want to say conspiracy theories, but like, where are we headed, man? The government has heavy control over everything in America, and it doesn't seem like they've been guiding us in the right direction. So maybe we do need a
dictator.
I didn't want to say it.
Listen, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's out of like the realm. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
I feel like it's like something in between.
Right? Yeah. There has to be. To your point, I feel like it's almost out of control. Like there has been no control. I mean, there's been no control of what's going on in America.
We have a television host as our president.
Imagine
the second time.
A television host, a businessman.
Man has had a lot of businesses that didn't pan out to be a businessman. And be like a ball player who can't make a shot.
To that point, that same ball player, everybody moved out of the way. In fact, his father set the screen for everybody to move out of the way for him to make a layup And the more concerning part is he's missed a few layups.
Yeah.
Nobody was at the rim. He's missed a few. And so the opportunity that now, granted, he had the opportunity, he took advantage of the opportunities he had. He obviously, there was a meme that went around, a viral video in which he was doing, I don't know if it was 60 minutes or whatever it was, he was doing some interview. And he had then said, my father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
That right there just let me know that I don't think the way some other people think. Because when you say small and 1 million, I don't even care if you're talking about 1,000,000 pieces of toilet paper, 1,000,000 pencils, 1,000,000 pennies. 1 million is a lot. It's a big number.
And that's where the naiveness comes in. That's where just the not realizing what the rest of the world, pretty much, obviously, aside from 2 or 3% that are millionaires, but the rest of the world that is not millionaires and are, some are living paycheck to paycheck, and some are maybe making, $75,000-$80,000 a year, and then some are making $150,000 a year. Again, that is a man who thinks about nobody but himself, because he's not thinking of what other people have to go through on a day-to-day basis. Again, I'm not discrediting
Maybe he is. Maybe he just don't care.
And you talk about concerning.
Is he a Gemini? No.
When is his birthday? I don't even know his birthday.
Kanye's.
Kanye
got the same birthday.
Yeah, imagine. You want to do.
If that makes sense now.
But I don't know. It's stuff like that it's concerning. It's concerning because you see that, and then people then want to say, hey, that's somebody I would like to vote for to run the country I live in.
Yeah, well, for me, again, I don't really even care for a lot of politics unless it's actually going to affect me.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird for me as a new father to see how people were backing this man to be a leader of the free world, a leader of men and women, and how he was talking. And I'm like, I feel like people have held or wanted to hold other people accountable for saying and doing less.
Yeah. 100%.
So I'm not sure what I do feel like he has a bit of swag to appease to whatever crowd follows him.
Yep.
But sometimes I still get lost, and I'm like, there's so much blatant ignorance that is ignored. I'm like, again, the other part of me just thinks that America's destined for failure, because I'm sorry, but like, if you put 100 Americans in a room and we pick a shitty person to represent us as a business, it says a lot about the people in the room.
It says it says so much. And again, we kind of talked about it earlier. People are so swayed, like, in terms of the way they feel about somebody or something. It's so easy. I mean, if honestly, I'm not saying I liked either of the candidates. I didn't.
Yeah.
You and I are on the same. I didn't vote, and did I feel bad about it? I didn't lose a wink of sleep.
None. I feel like that was actually healthy for me.
I
noticed. I watched everyone and how they were every morning waking up stressed about either side.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, sorry you feel that way.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't give a fuck.
My biggest thing, whatever happens, I'll adjust. That's the problem. People can't adjust. People can't adapt. They are afraid of change.
Everyone felt as though if she won, she was going to send a bunch of niggas to jail. And everyone said, if he won, then we're going to be slaves again. And I'm like, let me tell you two things that's not going to happen. One, I ain't going to jail for no shit I ain't did.
What?
Two, I will never be a slave in the sense of what we know as slaves.
Yep.
Like, do I think I'm a slave right now? Yes, I go to work and I pay taxes for America. I understand that modern day slavery.
Right.
I'm talking about slave.
Oh yeah.
Nah, everyone going. I'm going out like one of
What?
Queen Latifah set it off. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie.
Definitely not.
Denzel in Training Day.
Yeah, that one.
I'm
Yep.
going out in a hell
Hey,
before I be a slave.
and I think that's people. So I think I might have told you this. My grandmother has always said, "Common sense ain't common."
Oh yeah, very very non-common.
And so when you listen to people who bring up things like that, I mean, for God's sake, I'm sorry, Kamala Harris had Cardi B perform, or no, Megan Thee Stallion.
It didn't matter to me.
One of them. One of them.
Again, that was all. Once I seen that, let me know the game that was being played, and I said, yeah, I'm not. I can't
You know what I'm
involve
saying?
myself in this.
But like,
because if I go to my son's teacher to have a conversation, and she's like, "Let me play this song for you. You'll have a better understanding of the situation." I'll be like, "I'm out of here," and my son ain't never coming back to this goddamn school again.
unenroll immediately.
I will say this: I had a conversation with my mom, and I think that part of sometimes you have to take a step backwards, take 2 steps forward.
Yep, I agree.
And I think what we're witnessing right now, let's think about if she had won. Okay. One, people had their own feelings towards her.
Mm-hmm.
But if she had won and she was gradually pacing America for what she felt and some felt was American success, we wouldn't get to, it's almost like in a relationship. If she doesn't expose herself, you don't know to move on. And so through his first terms, he didn't really make enough people upset. Couldn't have, because else he wouldn't have been elected this time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I feel like this time he's actually ruffling feathers of people that supported him. Okay. Now people have an open perspective, and they're having more understanding of actual right for people versus right for America, because those are 2 different conversations.
Absolutely.
And I think that America has been running like a business and not taking care of its people.
Yep.
And if you look at successful countries, they are business minded, but they always take care of the people, because without the people, you can't have a business.
Nothing.
And so I just think that what we're witnessing, we had to happen. Unfortunately, it has to happen. You have to watch this girl go crazy, and for you to go, you know what? I think I need to back away from this relationship. And that's what we're witnessing.
It, like you said, you sometimes you have to take a step back to go 2 steps forward, and I agree. I think that's what's happening right now. I just it's I don't want to say it saddens me, because because if you think about it, so let's say she was elected, right? Say Kamala Harris was elected. What are you gonna do? Gonna leave the country? I dare you. You gonna, I don't know, you gonna go talk to her? I mean, what are you gonna do if now, just like the people who were supporting Kamala Harris and now Donald Trump won? What are you gonna do? Leave the country?
Yes, I will say that there are actually people who are leaving the country right now, to speak, but I don't know if that's the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's the best option. Like, when I think about, and I hate to, go down another road, but the inner city, the communities, how they tear them apart is they take the people. We got 100 people in this black neighborhood. You give 10 of them really good jobs. Then you got your middle class, and then you got was with no job. Those 10 people, they live there for a year and a half. They save up and they move away. That community can't build because the people who are actually becoming successful have left everyone else. And that's traditionally what happens in America.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for all of us to build together when there's really only a small group of people who are constantly growing.
That's that word. Together. I don't think a lot of I don't think a lot of people understand the meaning of that word.
I don't think America has grown us to be together. Families are separating. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like when you used to have families that all lived on the same street or in the same little town because they wanted to stick together,
Mhm.
they're living in different states, different countries, because I think one, this has enabled us to still be able to communicate,
Yep.
which is a good thing. But part of it back in the day is your culture or who you identified as a person was because your family was so close.
Hmm.
Uncle Larry, you worked with Uncle Larry outside on his car because that's what he did. He pulled up at your pot. You know what I'm saying? Like there was just
Right.
certain things that as a family, Auntie Amy gonna be doing, like you just know because that's what they did. Again, we don't know the neighbors, but
Yeah.
you knew your family. Like as a kid, my father had so many siblings. I knew all of their kids.
Yep.
I don't know none of their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Like
don't.
that's just so it's disappointing.
Yeah, yeah. I
Eh,
shouldn't say none of them. I do. Shout out to my cousins.
but like it
But
should
it's
be the
just
same
different.
way.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you
different.
should know. Like it's the same thing. Like for the most, like for some part. I know I know all my cousins here. I know because all my so there's something else we were talking about. My father is he's foreign, so he moved here. He was the first to move here out of his four siblings. There's five of them as a whole. They all moved here. They've all had kids, and I know, and obviously I'm close with all of them, and they're my cousins. Now, my great grandfather, of course, my family's from Kenya. My great grandfather had 33 children.
Mm. Woo!
33 children.
Man's a legend. No Larry legend, just a legend.
And he took care of every single one of them.
Dope.
He took
I
all of them to
wouldn't. I
school.
wouldn't know all their names.
Come
Boy, boy, two,
here.
boy, five.
Come here, you. Come here, dude.
Hey,
Yeah.
yo.
Yeah. It's just eight of them. Look back, huh? Just all of, I thought I was boy one, but no, he took care of all of them. He took all of them to school, and they all had a pretty close relationship to an extent. Obviously, things happen within a family. You're not always going to agree, but they always took care of each other, and that's the thing that we're kind of going away from now in these days. And when I say we, I mean like America as a whole.
Society. I
Society,
think we
yeah,
worked harder to be together, and now we're working harder.
to stay apart or to become apart.
It's more or less it's independence is really what I think it happens. Is like as a kid, your
Mhm.
parent is almost banking on that day that you go, hey, moving out.
Yep.
But back in the days, that family orientation was like, oh, they're not leaving until we've established a business or something to where we can now
So
grow another one outside.
yep.
And
It's
it's not the
so,
same.
and I will say to that extent, a lot of that, like a lot of that are it's American, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, high school's done, 18, you can go apply for an apartment. I'll see you later. I'll see you Thanksgiving.
So it's I love the fact that you brought that up. All my people's back home in Boston, they definitely can relate. Boston is very multicultural city.
Mhm.
Massachusetts is a very multicultural state. I got a lot of Cape Verdeans, Haitians. I heard there's a lot of Dominicans that now that I've been going back. Definitely Puerto Ricans, multitude of Asians. Like it's just heavily multicultural. There's Irish, there's all
Mhm.
type. But like you said, they stick together. The Cape
Always.
Verdeans, they will live in a three-family home, be like 12 of them on the first floor, and then they rent out the uppers to other families that they know.
And they be happy than a motherfucker.
Happy,
Boy,
they do
what?
it for the next 30 years so
Mhm.
that all three families
Taking care.
are taken care of, and then they'll all do the same thing. They'll all build, you know what I'm saying? Each floor, each family on each floor save a money to go do it again.
That's what we're losing as a society. As a society,
Well, yes, definitely as Americans. Like if
as
you,
a, but yeah,
you know what I'm
specifically,
saying? Like
yeah.
specifically, if you have this American mindset,
Hmm.
you're losing.
Yeah.
People are coming to this. Like I've had Jamaican friends. They come to the country. They're sending stuff back to their country for business.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like their
Mhm.
mindset. And I will say that for a while, I actually thought that Donald Trump might have been onto something. Like maybe we need to keep these jobs for Americans. But then I was thinking, I'm like, ain't too many Americans that want that job.
Tone, I don't think the people in the back heard you
Like,
because
especially, I'm sorry, but I know hustlers. I know, regular people.
Mhm.
Not a lot of them. Not a lot of high school kids want to work at McDonald's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then when you think about the environment that they're growing up in, they're looking at the hustler.
Mhm.
He making way more than anybody working at McDonald's.
And
So
doing a lot less.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then like the other people that have like traditional 9 to 5s out of high school, if they know how to manage their money, it just not McDonald's doesn't appease. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like something that a kid wants. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't know. Again, I don't know what the future is going to bring with all of these different circumstances.
It's
Like I think
terrifying.
about how it was for me growing up, and now with all, like, I really think if this tariff situation, that's gonna domino affect all of these other conversations that we're having,
Mhm.
because I mean, that's that's something so simple that could be catastrophic to where, I mean, simple prices of things that we necessities
Right.
jump so high to where people won't have no cable. People's medicine, it might affect your medicine. Like certain things is going to affect to where people are gonna, the feathers will be ruffled.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you mentioned it, like a lot of the kids aren't willing to work at McDonald's, but to I think to expand on that point, a lot of kids don't want to work, and
Period.
like period, like they see the biggest thing to me, right? The biggest thing to me. Now, I'll use podcast for example, right? We have GSM, we have Wave, we have 70 subscribers right now, and Lord knows you and I are both, because this is our channel. Lord knows we are both, and I think I can speak for you. We are beyond grateful for everybody who watches, for the subscribers that are subscribed. We are beyond grateful, but we also want to grow. We want to grow and get our platform out there as much as we can, as much as we can, as much as we can. Now, that's gonna take work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna happen overnight. The thing that is lacking from, again, I know I'm only 22 and I don't want to like act like, oh, I've experienced all this, because I haven't. I've still yet to experience a lot of life. But that what I've seen from high schoolers now, that are people that kids that are in high school, kids that are in middle school, they are impatient. They're not
The
willing to go through the
process.
process. They're not willing to
Well,
grind.
you have to see it. You have to understand it, and it's been ignored because what happens is that instant gratification is what they see on here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and so has 12 posts on their Instagram,
Mhm.
and all you see is the vacation, them going to the bank, them buying a new car. You didn't see them staying up 26 hours studying for that test. You
Mhm.
didn't see them working 18 hours. You didn't see any of the grind.
Now,
But no one wants the grind.
nobody wants it.
Nobody,
Nobody
like,
wants it.
if I post the grind, you think about, like, so think about the views that you get from the grind
Mhm.
versus, like,
The outcome of the grind.
thank you.
Somebody I talk about a lot all the time. Now, he's kind of he's going through a little something right now. Unc is going through a little bit right now. Something he said to, not to me obviously, but on it,
I don't know if you want to, go into that, but that was the last. That was going to be the finishing, because I know you didn't get to chop it up yesterday about him.
Oh yeah, I got some thoughts on that. So yeah, I definitely love to chop it up about that with you. What he says is, when you look at a man lying in the middle of the street, your first thought is, he's laying in the middle of the street. Why is he laying in the middle of the street? If there's a man laying in the middle of the street, a lot of times he wants to no longer be on this earth, right? Because in the streets, there's cars going. You get ran over by a car, done. So he says, don't judge that man on the fact that he's there, because you don't know what happened to get him there. It's the same thing about people, successful people, right? When you look at these internet people, when you look at Shannon Sharpe, when you look at Stephen A. Smith, when you look at Michael Jordan or Devin Booker, they are huge personalities. They are rich. They can buy anything they want in the world, but you don't see what they did to get there.
Might have had to go the Diddy route.
See, there you go. See that. This sounds like you.
I'm just saying,
you making a
like,
stop
that's
there.
what you're saying is like the sacrifice. We don't know what it was. I'm not saying that that's the way that all of them go.
Yeah.
But just like what you don't know what's in that pot. There's a
You
lot
never know.
of stuff
You
mixing
never
in
know.
that pot, and like even certain hustlers, like certain hustlers make sacrifices to stay away from their kids.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they got to go to jail.
Yep.
Like those are all, and you just see the nice car in the crib, and you like, I want that.
I want that.
You
What
didn't know
did he
that.
do- what did he do to
that
get
nigga
that?
did 15 years in prison.
What?
He done got stabbed in the. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You want to go through all that?
Yeah.
Then go ahead.
They don't realize that part of the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
You have to embrace it. You have to love the grind. Tony, I love doing it. We have 70 subscribers. I love doing this.
Mm-hmm. Even not just this, like you learn stuff at your gig that you bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the process. Is like, oh shoot, we can correct this. We can add.
What if we do this, and that?
And so again, it's dope that you're so young and understand that, and you have that perspective. And it's obviously some people that you find to be mentors that have highlighted that, and you have a great understanding. But I do think that between social media, I'm not in tune with a lot of teenage young that level of young, but something is definitely in the water to where kids don't understand that process leads to success.
Like there's now again, there are some people, like a very, very few amount of people. Yeah, sometimes they have overnight success.
Yeah. That's like hitting the lottery, though. Everyone don't hit the lottery.
No, there's a reason why it's called the lottery. Yeah. Because like, how many people are gonna hit that?
You think about the NBA. It's what is it? 4,000 people who have ever played the game of basketball professionally.
Imagine. And there's been how many people on there?
But I even think about Braun was a beast to be able to get his son in the league.
Yeah.
The greatest of all time. His kids never played professionally.
Never.
You know what I'm saying?
Never, barely played college.
The odds are stacked against you.
Yeah.
And that's just basketball. That's not football and golf and hockey. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many other sports, but each one is pretty much like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And again, even that is like, you have to you don't just go and
you can be prepared. You can be prepared and not get that opportunity.
And that's what people have to understand. The fear of failure is the downfall of so many people. You have to be willing to fail, and because if you don't fail, you don't learn. So you have to be willing to fail, and then not just fail, but learn from failure. What did you do this time that led you to fail so that you don't fail again?
I think that's a part of it too, is if no one taught you how to learn from that failure, then failure hurts.
Yeah.
And people don't like pain.
No, absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so
physical, emotional.
Yeah. Like, one thing that I try to continuously teach Hendrix is that pain is temporary.
Yes.
And it's honestly only going to last as long as you allow it.
Exactly.
I like the little kid. I don't know if you've seen him fall. He's running from first to second base today.
Mm-hmm.
He fell. He instantly got up, looked at his mom. As soon as he looked at his mom, he waited for her reaction. Then he just started crying.
That's when he started letting it out.
Me, Hendrix look at me. I'd be like, I sometimes just look away because I'm like, dog,
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, what you want to do?
Then you looking at me like,
go hold it down.
exactly
Hold
what?
it down.
Because that's what he's gonna have to do.
And yeah, sometimes I have to pick and choose, because I don't want him to think that I'm not there for him.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, he got to be able to stay on his own too. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? I ain't gonna be there every day. You fall, you got to be able to get up.
Absolutely.
And I think that is like through the trials and tribulations, through us having, previous falls, and the first 2 or 3 of me be like, oh no, and then I was like, you know what? I seen your reaction based on that. We are not gonna do that again.
You gonna fall, and you gonna fall a whole lot more. But, like Joe Mazzulla said, get up.
Get your ass up.
Get up. Hey, because at least there's somebody there telling you to get up.
And to me, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
If I fall, like if somebody punch me and they like, I hit that nigga the hardest I could hit,
and you get back
and
up,
I get right back up, this nigga's like, oh shit, what the hell I'm gonna do next?
Let me just tell you something. What I would do, right? I'm a pretty decent sized dude, right? And I like to think I'm kind of strong. If I hit somebody square in the jaw, boom, right, and he fall, and I'm like, oh yay, I ain't got no more left. I hit him with everything I had, and he get back up. I'm like, I don't think you understand. Usain Bolt went as fast as I would. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, real quick. Hold on.
What? Hey. Hold on. Oh yeah, yeah. You know the cartoon where they take off and then their caricature almost is smoke. Yeah. I don't think you understand. And so to see something like that, and now obviously that's just like an analogy, but like and metaphorically. But if somebody hits you with something, if you get hit and you get back up, that should not only put fear into whoever knocked you down, that should put confidence into you, knowing that you took so-and-so's best shot and you got right back up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what life is about. And I'm hoping that that message is received around like a lot more people, because the grind, it's fun, man. It's fun. You learn,
especially at the end when you realize what you went through to get to
relief.
Like, damn, that was dope. I did all of that. Learned a little bit,
man.
Challenged myself. Yeah, let's get to the end of the show. Let's get to the top subject, the trending topic. Let's talk about your boy, man. I know. Since we've been doing this podcast, damn it, since I met you and we started talking about podcasts, you've been preaching about how much of a mentor, how you kind of look up to him,
mm-hmm.
How he's constantly speaking positivity. I personally think that he's like the leader of podcasts from where we stand. When you think about sports, you think about entertainment. I can't think of a bigger podcast.
No,
honestly, I can't think of a bigger podcast.
The only one, and maybe in terms of just maybe is virality a word? Like maybe
let's make it a word.
Yeah, in terms of virality, right? I would say it's there's a few like the Kelsey's podcast is pretty good. The New Heights Show, Travis Kelce, Jason Kelsey.
I don't think they get the same amount of traffic. That's what I'm saying. Like when I think about just the overall.
Shannon
because
Sharpe
he's getting sports. You think about what he did with Cat Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like you think about just like not just sport. He's having and like he does kind of like what we do. Like his podcasts are like 2 hours, and you really be like
locked in the
whole 2 hours.
It's never a dull moment.
Yeah, and so I mean, one, I appreciate what he's done. He's kicked down some doors.
Oh, for sure.
I love his content. And like besides the first kind of crazy stint, which honestly, I always believed that was a marketing tool.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I like because who's to even know if he was actually really having sex? It could have just been him sitting next on the couch with somebody with the phone in between them.
Because there's so many. Like if I were to go on Instagram Live right now, there is like, hey, are you sure?
Yeah.
Hey, are you positively sure you want to go? Hey, are you really sure you want to go? Like there's so many buttons you have to
punch
press.
in your code if you want to go live.
Speak into the camera.
Yes.
And say, like So there's so many things, and so maybe that was, like you said, a marketing stint. Maybe because I think that
Views went
was
up after that.
they went live that same night, 100K.
And so I think it was genius. It was questionable for me, but then when I thought about his following, like the people, I'm like, I don't think he tarnished his name at all. Like he didn't hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think.
And in
like,
fact, it probably went up because everybody. Oh, that was funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is a little different.
And it obviously, we both know the details of it so far, of what we know, of what's coming.
I will say there's one detail that I recently found out is that he relocated from California to Nevada.
Yep.
I think they said it in 2019.
No, he just did that recently.
Oh,
like not even 6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, she did the same thing.
Really?
And so
I did not know that.
Now I will say that the timetable is what I will have to probably do a little bit more research on.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's any evidence of her accusing him of assaulting her prior, and then you follow him,
that's like,
here's where now I may be ignorant. And ladies, I apologize, and feel free to drag me in the comments, and we'll go from there. But when there's an opportunity for you to leave, leave. Some women say I'm scared. You can call the police.
there are so
Your ass can go get a gun and put a cap in his ass.
If it's that bad, if he's beating you that bad.
Or you know what you could do? You could take this damn camera and record him and expose him before you sue him.
Tony, we've been talking about those a lot today. They tend to work, right?
Yeah, more often than not. Well, mine tend to die during podcasts.
Because that's just because you got to plug them in.
I'm a little old, I forget things sometimes.
A little
bit. But yeah, they work for the most part.
But they tend to work, right? Now, we don't call them as much anymore, but call them camera phones, right?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a woman, so I can't exactly speak from a woman's perspective who has been in this situation. Because maybe not, I don't want to say this situation. I'll specify because we don't know what the situation is exactly just yet. Mm-hmm. All we know is he's been sued for it, but a domestic violence situation.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry to cut you off. $50 million is a lot. $50 million. Yo, I don't recall hearing, $50 million is a lot of money.
You know what? Hey, first of all, you see what I was doing?
Shake down.
And what? Hey, you know why?
Oh yeah, you go high, so that he can give you 5 and dismiss the whole and throw it away.
That, and we were just talking about the other day. You seen what the deal that he's looking to make?
Oh yeah, she want half. It's crazy though.
How you want
half? I ain't never gave you no ring.
What?
You ain't never lived with me.
Crazy as hell.
I ain't get you pregnant. I ain't none of that. You want half?
Crazy than a mother.
You better have gave me a whole lot of content or something. You better get. I need to see the emails that you were saying. Yo, get cat first joint. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what? Hey,
you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Like, what's going on here?
Hey, you see them text messages, boy?
Yeah, 25K a cheek. And that's
you got me.
This is where I get ignorant. I apologize, ladies. How are you asking for money already?
Now, okay, ambitious, fine. You can be ambitious. You know what I'm saying? You can be
That's
ambitious.
what we call it now.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Hey, put it out there. Put it out there. Now, the more concerning thing, because there's a lot of women doing that nowadays, right? Or with OnlyFans and there's a lot of women doing that nowadays. If you then, as the man, indulge in such activities
That's
in which
what
you have to pay for.
That's where Shannon, I'm like, it's two things. One, that he actually put forth that much effort. Two, that girl is 20 years old, bro.
Shannon Sharpe is 57, not as old as you, but almost 57. My bad. You know, I got it. I said that.
I got a lot. Bro in hella shape for 57 years old.
Crazy shape. Crazy
57. He's in crazy shape, but to be
and,
like, it's not grooming. It sounds like grooming.
It's bad. Now, again, let me actually just put this out there right now. I absolutely believe it's a shakedown. Yeah. I don't believe the things that they are saying he did is true.
I don't even understand why she would hire the same lawyer that just got cut off from the Jay-Z. Yeah, like it just again, it's certain things I'm like, this is just nasty.
Comments. I'm gonna get a t-shirt with this. We're gonna start making t-shirts, and on it is gonna say "Common Sense ain't coming."
I feel like we should put a picture of Common.
Put a picture of Common, and then put a couple nickels and pennies, and then another picture of Common, but this time he's frowning. You know, but I just so again, I don't believe he did these things. After everything he says and he stands on and he believes it, I can't see Shannon Sharpe. Now, I don't know him personally. Never had a conversation with the man.
I will say the one part that I think he really messed up on is if the phone calls are real, because there's no way for us to know if they're real.
If the phone calls are real.
If the phone calls are real, on one of them that I heard, she's stating that he's saying essentially meet me here, and she's like, I don't want to because I don't want to be choked. And then he says, if I'm quoting this correctly, I ought to choke you in public. And he said, big black man chokes little white girl type of thing.
Yeah.
And so right there, he's basically disclosing that he's done it before.
Yes.
To a certain extent. Yeah. And so once you open that Pandora's box, the people who are accusing you threw them an alley-oop.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like anybody who's on her side, you threw them an alley. Yeah. And you could have been choking her out for fun.
Yeah, for other purposes.
But it doesn't look good once that conversation. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm listening to the conversation and I'm like, who talks like this? If I'm talking to a girl and she waits 5 seconds to answer me every time, I'm like, I gotta go.
I'm on everything I
gotta go. What the hell? I'm like, yo, Shannon, you gotta step your game up, bro.
Like, come on, bro. He's a million years old and don't know how to talk to a woman. What's up, bro? Because here's the biggest thing. Like, first of all, I was thinking the same thing. Like, it's somebody says something, it's quiet for about 10 seconds. And then somebody says something after that, and then it's quiet for about 15 seconds. If I'm having a conversation with anybody, but for this specific circumstance, a woman, and you're not responding, first of all, Tone, I don't like being on the phone anyways. I don't like talking on the phone. Like, and there's a few people who I talk to I don't mind talking to on the phone. There's very few people. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's very few.
Ma told me that, like, the second time, I was like, yo, I called Ma, he ain't answer. He said, oh, yeah, text bro. He said text back. I was like, oh, I love that. That's all right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was just trying to make sure business is business. That's it. Say less. You know what I'm saying? But I respect it. If that's how you are, that's how you are.
Like, because that's the biggest thing. Like I said, there's very few people, right? People who I talk to on a consistent basis. You, my brother Michael, who's been on the show. Kevin,
shout out to him for getting Wi-Fi too.
Man, hey, no, you know he back. He's doing his baby thing. Yeah, I was talking to him on that Navy line, boy, could barely hear him.
I know.
You know,
when I see him type in the group chat, I said, "Shout out to bro for getting some Wi-Fi."
I see that too. I was like, "Yo, he ain't no good,
he ain't made a comment about 23 days. He ain't said nothing.
You ain't no good, bro." But yeah, like. Again, I only talk to a few people. Like, I don't mind talking to anybody else. Like, again, people I talk to on a consistent basis. You, Michael, my sister, my sisters, my dad, like Kevin. I talk to Jesse. the very few people I talk to on a consistent basis that I don't mind talking on the phone with. But if you're calling me, and you just want to talk,
Oh hell no!
if you just want to
I
talk,
thought you was shit. I was about to say, I have no problem with you writing me a message, and then we can talk after about the subject. But don't call me just to shoot the shit.
come on, like again, you got to be one of my close people. Hey, come on, like Ahmad's another one. Like, boy, Ahmad's like, bro, I can sit and talk to Ahmad for hours,
bro.
But like, don't just call me to have a conversation. Like, there has to be a plan or an intent for this conversation. There was no. What was the intent in that conversation, Tony?
Oh yeah.
Like there was like it sounds like the people. One of the things that frustrates me most.
Rockets up 20.
Rockets are up 20. Oh yeah, no Jimmy. That's tough. But one of the things that frustrates me most are the people who just sit on FaceTime.
Oh my god.
Like you. What about you?
Jacoby. It's
Uh-oh.
my bro.
On
the game from New York. That's my dog. That's my dog. But that fool will call me, and every time he yell my whole government name 6 times as soon as I answer the phone, and he sing it. He be singing. I'll be like, yo, chill out. And then he be like, yo, wave, you ugg boy? You ugg? It's some New York shit. Like, you ugly? I'm like, nigga, every day, all day, twice on Sundays. I say the same shit every time. But that's him. He will call. This nigga be playing a whole game, and I'll be in there in the whole another room doing something. He just sit on FaceTime. That's my dog, but that's what he do. I feel like, nigga, hey, I'm going to call you back, bro. He's like, all right. This nigga will get 4 calls while we on the FaceTime. He coming back every single time, man. He hang up. But again, that's one of my dogs. So like he's kind of like, you and Jesse and shit like that. But
yeah,
when you said that, I'm like, yeah, that's Jacoby. My dog.
See, like that. I don't know. Like even with females, like one of the now again, I hope I don't get flack for this, but like I've had a couple girls tell me, hey, can we? I'll talk. It'll be late. Well, I'll be FaceTiming them, and she'd be like, "Hey, can you fall asleep with me on FaceTime?" I said, "Excuse me." She said, "Yeah, let's fall asleep together on FaceTime." I said,
"I'd have did bad in this generation."
Absolutely not.
What is the
what is the goal with us falling asleep on FaceTime?
I'd say yeah, just so I could find out if you snore. Because if I find out that you snore, that's over.
Really,
you won't have to hear from me again.
That's a must for you.
Well, I say if it's early in the process, yeah. Like if me and you been dating for a minute and we ain't never lived together, you know what I'm saying? Like we never, and then I find out you snore, but I really like you,
right?
I might
really,
but if we dating and like. It depends on what I'm looking for in a relationship also. Like if it's a shorty that we just really, we vibing and we probably just,
yeah.
And she talking like that, she gonna get to know she gonna get to know wave. Like she gonna be telling her friends, she gonna be dragging my name through the mud, boy.
See,
because I'm gonna be talking like she one of the homies. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, yo, stop playing with me.
Yeah.
She gonna be expecting some type of sensitive reaction of like maybe tomorrow. And I'm gonna be like, yo, don't ever ask me to do no bullshit like that. Fucking waste my act like we got minutes on these phones. Like, don't do that to me. Like to me, certain things I feel like again, it depends on how you appreciate the woman.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes certain people do certain things to test you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And sometimes women want to see how soft you are in a sense. Mm-hmm. And once she does it once, she's going to do it again. And do it again. And do it again.
Yep.
And that ain't how I rock.
See, okay. One thing I'll say, when what a woman does in her sleep, I ain't gonna get whether she snore, whether she fart in her sleep, she can't control it. Like when you're sleeping, you can't control what you're doing.
There's some shit you can do. They got the nose plug.
But Tone,
You
you
could
try. But
definitely always face your ass that direction.
that's
Like
fair.
there's
That's fair.
there's
That's
some
fair.
there's some there's some help.
Like, but
You
I
know what I'm
just,
saying? There's some things you could
I don't
do.
know. I don't know. I just, but like, there's also some stuff where it's like one of my homeboys. I ain't gonna call him out because this is again, this might be a relationship that I've never been like in a long term serious relationship. So maybe just me again, be naive. One of my homeboys used to like him and his girl would go out to family's house or whatever it is, and or even if they're just at the crib, just chill. She used to say, "Hey, I gotta use the bathroom," and she was like, and then he'd be like, "Okay," walk right in there with her. You got, excuse my language, you got
No,
me
what?
fucked up every day of
Hold
the week
on.
and twice on
I
Sunday.
don't
See
understand
your
what you
point.
just said.
Oh no, we laying in bed, right? Me and Shorty, like we laying in the bed and watching TV or whatever. She said, "I got to go to the bathroom." I said, "Okay," and she said, "Hey, can you come with me?" I said, "Oh yeah." Get right up, go walk, and sit there while she's using the bathroom, one or two, might I add. Sit there, wait patiently for her to be done.
Well, what was the purpose?
You asked the wrong person. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she was scared.
That's I'm like, is it like a
Like
comfort thing?
comfort.
Like what?
But go like like. But
Like I'm hurt. I'm struggling to even put the pieces to the puzzle. To what the fuck? That's my son goes to the bathroom and if his mother walked by or me, then the door's cracked and we just check it. Can I get some privacy, please?
yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. I'm not using the now again. The thing that Unc also says that he won't. Now, okay, this is OD.
I'm so confused.
Unc says that if he won't use the bathroom in
Oh,
front of a
yep.
woman.
I
You
seen
seen
that.
that? He won't use, and then he also won't be okay with her using the bathroom.
Yeah. I will say that he said some things but again, I feel like regional, cultural, there's differences amongst all of us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you grow up a little different, you do things different. And so I don't want to judge Shannon based off of,
No.
but I will say that he said some things that I'm like, oh, that's some different shit. You know
That's
what
like
I'm saying?
SOD. Like
Yeah. But
that's doing a lot.
again, to each his own. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
for
To each
sure.
his own.
Yeah.
But I will say that sometimes there's a pattern.
Yeah.
And when you line 23 weird things up, likely a 24th
Yeah.
weird thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. And bro had a lot of weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Even with the clothes he was wearing. I'm like, bro, some of them pants is kind of tight.
Come on, dog.
Like, nigga, you belong in a double XL.
You know what I'm saying?
You was
Like
6'3", 6'4", 290, nigga.
Tony, he's almost 60 years old.
And he wearing jeggings.
What are we doing?
And that's what I said. Like, again, I don't want to judge, bro, because whatever makes you comfortable makes you comfortable.
But let's have some common sense.
Thank you.
Like, if I see my dad walk out the house with a tight long sleeve and some jogging pants
feels
that are
like there's nobody around him who's giving him positive.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah. I think you should do that. Yeah,
Yes, man. That's what he got. And having yes, man doesn't give you the different dynamic.
You don't learn nothing. You don't learn a single thing.
You know. And again, I do hope. Here's the tough part. Is it, especially as a person, you know, I love my mother, my stepmother, my sister. I have a lot of women in my family that I love and, you know, I care about.
Of course.
We're at a point in society where this has become too comfortable. And it's just, to me, it's like an everyday occurrence almost. Of we're watching young women who get to be, I don't want to say they're privileged, but they're in rooms that maybe they shouldn't be in.
Yep.
and then they try to take advantage of people because of their success.
Mm-hmm.
And we joke and laugh about it, but yet there's not a real conversation as to why there's a level of comfort with this happening. The other part, which is just as nasty, is that there's a bunch of old ass niggas, and I don't by niggas, I don't mean just black men, I mean
Just men.
men
Mm-hmm.
who are comfortable with very, very immature women. And I'm not saying that just because she's 20, she's immature. There are some very mature
Oh,
20-year
absolutely.
olds.
Absolutely.
But I think that some of these older gentlemen target young women who aren't strong-minded. And when these women feel as though they're about to lose something, their backs are against the wall.
And what do you do when your back is against the wall? You break that motherfucker down.
And so yeah, it's nasty. It's a nasty look, especially I think it's a little bit nastier when you have a prolific athlete who happens to be a minority and you have a little white girl. It just
Again, you
makes the
just
conversation a little bit worse.
and Tony, that girl is 20 years old. Shannon Sharpe is 57. Again, I'm going to say this. And now, if I'm wrong, I will have no problem coming on here and admitting I was wrong. Now, will we ever find out whether we're wrong or right? Chances are absolutely not.
No, who's gonna pay her off?
Absolutely.
That's gonna
To
disappear.
get this go away.
Mhm. If not him, his company will.
Oh yeah. And the biggest thing, like, I understand, like, you maybe it's an ego thing, right? Maybe, oh, I'm Shannon Sharpe. I don't need no 50-year-old woman. Maybe that's the case.
I think it speaks to what you brought up earlier.
You can't. That's just when it comes out like how it is right now. To who I'm so glad you brought up that point. Who is a woman who may not be very strong minded, who may be able to be taken advantage of because she doesn't know any better. It's not a good look. Again, I don't believe he did the things that she is saying that he did. But I also am putting this on Shannon because you should have known the risks that come with dating a girl at such a big difference in age.
I'd assume you're not completely aware, but I also assume that you'll have a general understanding once I break it down. It reminds me a lot of the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation. This was a young boy who grew up in the neighborhood, but he didn't grow up in the environment. He grew up in the
Yes.
neighborhood. He wanted to be a vlogger.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually like a pop rock rap kid.
Yeah.
He witnessed how that movement of the gang banging was taking off and he manipulated it. He was then manipulated by the actual leaders of that environment.
Mm-hmm.
They said, oh, well, you want to utilize us? Well, we're going to utilize you. And again, you're not going to tell me that those dudes, the leaders of the gang, didn't go, this could go left, because what happens if he witnesses some real shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's part of, like, so even myself, I grew up in a hood with a bunch of dudes. A lot of them was way more affiliated and associated than I
they
was.
were all in.
You know what I'm saying? They 10 toes in. I'm playing ball.
Yeah.
But like, they all knew that you couldn't do certain things around me because of the way my father presented himself.
Yep.
Then when I grew up, certain people knew, yo, don't want that type of shit in his car. Don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It would be ignorant of me right now where I am at in my life. For saying if I'm moving sideways, the type of if I'm doing something to the left, for me to be like, yo, Maul, I'm outside. Come take this ride with me. Why the fuck would I put you in a position to where now it's either one of us who's going to be in trouble? Because if you get in trouble, I know that's not what you want. Right. So you likely going to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
So why would I do that to you? To now you have to, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm mad because you did it to me. But I did it. I'm the one that sparked it. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
them dudes knew that he wasn't built for that.
Yep.
So how can you get mad at him when he rat on you?
Yeah.
Shannon knew. Ain't no way in hell Shannon thought, yo, this girl gonna be so comfortable with me smashing for a couple months and then just moving on. When she can look at my lifestyle. We eating at 5-star restaurant. She eating $2,000 steaks. I don't care what Shannon say about being cheap. He ain't that damn cheap.
Hell no. Hell no. And she wasn't even alive when he was playing in the NFL.
Don't say that. Don't do
Tony?
That. Why are you gonna do him like that?
She wasn't alive when he had played in the NFL.
She was born after he retired.
Sorry, what was that?
She was born after he retired.
He knew that.
She has no recollection. She has no understanding of how prolific of an athlete he was.
He had just started at CBS when she was born.
And to me, again, that is another dynamic of the whole conversation of, wouldn't you want someone to be able to acknowledge what you've accomplished?
What you've accomplished and how you accomplished it. How you got to what you were able to accomplish.
But real quick, I think he suffers from what I call the Michael Jackson syndrome. He was being so prolific as an athlete that there were things that he missed out on. Or maybe he just really doesn't have any game. But I feel like that's really what the underlying issue is.
Yeah.
He doesn't have enough game to talk to. I remember him and Ocho Cinco was joking about the porn star chick. I can't remember her name, but the porn star chick. Nasty or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Be Nasty. MS Be Nasty. Yeah.
You could almost see him freeze up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the person of your status should be like, you know what? Yeah, give her a ring. Like, whether or not he actually does it, but you should be that comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Where he's all like, no, I don't want that. No. And I'm like, nigga, you afraid? Like, what are you afraid of, bro? What's going on here? And I think that it's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? Because it leads to situations like this.
Yeah.
Because it could just be like a real honest situation that just is turned upside down. It's not like, he was actually trying to take advantage of her. Maybe he just doesn't know how to talk to women, and this is the group that he has. This is the pond he's fishing in, because these are the only fish he can catch. I'm sorry, but it could be possible.
Truth hurts. The truth hurts. And hey, man, that is one messed up situation, boy.
Yeah, I do. Like you said, I don't think we'll ever honestly know the truth about it entirely.
No.
I truly do think he'll pay her out in some small, $2.5, $3.8 million, sweep it under the rug. We'll never hear about her again. She'll be canceling her OnlyFans.
Oh yeah.
She'll be in, living somewhere. But
again, that's the risk that she has to realize she's taking. When
no one will ever trust her again. No. She won't be able to be in certain circles.
And she's so young.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, it's horrible for Shannon, because you would assume he might not lose to Disney, but you'd assume he's going to lose something, which is it's bad.
Yeah, yeah, and
if not anything, it's just respect from certain people.
Oh yeah, and again, I don't know if she realized the risk that she was taking by doing this. I know he didn't realize the risk that he was taking when he was messing around with that girl, because now this is out, and now he was talking to. Now, if the phone calls are real and it's not AI or whatever, the way that he was talking to that girl was absolutely not okay.
Oh hell no! And but the other part of it is, this whole relationship was happening around the same time as the Michelle chick, right?
Boy, that's crazy that you mentioned that. I didn't even think about that, because that must have happened in October, November.
Yeah.
Shannon got some thinking to do. Un got some thinking to do, man. And he got some revisioning to take care of.
Yeah, man. We already be struggling, man, as black men, man, in front of
Yeah.
the camera. They be
Don't
making us look bad. Don't be throwing alley oops, Shannon. Come on, man.
don't be pouring fuel to the fire, man.
And my bro, you know, he looks up to you, man. He looks up to you in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
He might be scratching you off his list soon.
yeah, I would never talk to a woman that way. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah,
Talking
yeah,
about choking. Yeah. I can't. No, I was raised too well to be doing that stuff. Yeah, I'm not gonna be talking to a woman like that. Choking her. I'll choke you in public. What?
Yeah, that threw me for a loop. I never expected Shannon to say that part.
Never.
I didn't.
Ever. Man. Yeah, I definitely have some questions about him, man.
Because I honestly, like, the first time I heard it or read it in a tweet, and I was like, he must have been joking. Like, I thought it was like a sexual innuendo, like, you know what I'm saying?
I thought it was too.
And then when I heard it, I was like, oh no, that ain't no joke.
Oh no, he is really gonna like it.
Yeah,
like that sounds like
he said that. And then there was a pause. There was a break in the conversation.
We'll be right back.
And she was like, I don't want to be choked. I was like, oh boy,
oh, damn.
brother. LeBron ain't sending you no more Lakers tickets. It's over for that one, brother.
Hey, man.
But no, this has been fun. Appreciate you, my guy.
Man, you know I got you, man.
Yeah, man.
Can I say something?
I think so.
Oh, I got to double check with the boss man. You know what I'm saying? I got to double check with the boss man. We've had a lot of good episodes of this show. This might be my favorite.
Yeah, this one was a rocker.
I had so much fun.
Good content. Good content.
Yeah,
we appreciate everybody who's always watching.
Mm-hmm.
Bo, GSM, The Wave. We appreciate all y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Drop some more comments, man. We be wanting to get back. We be wanting to, little answer and question and answer. So, man, it's always fun, man.
Let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, that too. On the next wave. I think I'm gonna try to do something special for the 10th episode. So we got a couple more before we get there. But man, yeah, I appreciate more, man. This is always fun.
Likewise, brother.
We definitely got some GSM coming to y'all before the end of the week.
Yep.
Look out for those. Much more playoff basketball. We're gonna start talking some baseball too, because guys are rolling. His guys are rolling, man.
Hey, you see Brandon Pfaadt last night? Boy, he was dominant. Went 6 innings, gave up 1 run. Hey, dog. Hey, Brandon Pfaadt starting to look like the best pitcher in the D-backs rotation.
And my Red Sox, y'all ain't holding it down. Y'all about to make me go buy a damn D-backs hat, man.
Hey, you ain't got to buy one. You know, I got one more. You don't even worry about it, dog.
See what I'm saying?
You know, you my dog.
What's wrong, y'all?
Yeah.
Something's holding it down and y'all playing like shit.
Hey, y'all went out and got Gary Crochet. And listen, he's good, but
y'all ain't repping, man. Y'all not repping.
Rafi couldn't hit a beach ball if it was thrown to him right
now. But yeah, check us out on GSM. Definitely hit us with the comments. And yeah, man, we will see y'all in the next episode where we always value your energy. We out.
Booker.
Sorry, that's gracious.
I had started the show. I had to end it with it.
Nasty work.